Good afternoon or good morning, whenever you're watching this, right? This is Straight No Chaser with Dr. Bailey. Of course, you know who I am by now, Dr. Julius Bailey. Of course, you have my co-host, Miss Tisa. How you doing today?
Excited. What's the news?
Hold on, man.
Okay.
Hold on. Can we just have some time to wind up?
Okay.
Like the old 70s, wind me up.
Hey.
But no, we're live here on the campus of Wittenberg University. It is the Wednesday here on campus. You got outdoor tents up with students having classes. You have everybody's in full grind here at Wittenberg. It's an exciting time. Masks are everywhere. Social distancing is happening. I'm sure I asked my students last night. I said, hey, I know a few of y'all been kissing. I hope y'all are kissing through the mask. You know what I'm saying? Because we trying to stay here all semester. I don't want what's happening at Notre Dame or what happened at North Carolina. I don't want those unfortunate type of situations to hit us here at Wittenberg. And so it is difficult. It is difficult no matter where you are as students are starting at university, as my daughter and other kids have started their remote learning at grammar schools and high schools across America. I know right now it's just tough times, right? It's just tough times, but education must happen. And we at Straight No Chaser, we appreciate that. Remember, again, we are live here at Straight No Chaser with Dr. Julius Bailey, as well as on YouTube. If you got friends that just ain't on Facebook, tell them right now they can go to YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Just type in Straight No Chaser or Dr. Julius Bailey, and you can get us live. So listen, we're going to take a few minutes just to kind of remind people this is our finale of season one, right? The season one. We started off, just brief history. We started off just as kind of something to do. Remember, I was in California. Mm-hmm. I called you. I was like, I had this crazy idea, right? Let's just do a digital talk show, right? I said, but I can't do it by myself. I need you, Miss Tisa. I remember I was driving through the hills of California on the phone with you. And you said, I'll think about it, Doc. I'll let you know. And I got back and you said you were down for it. So I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate you, Dr. Bailey.
So again, we just, I was quite frankly, I was, as the song say, I was bored in the house and I was in the house bored. I had nothing to do this summer, and students had left in March, and I was just kind of going stir crazy, and I needed some outlet. I needed to engage in conversation. And I talked to some people, let's just do a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, I ain't gonna lie to you, I really didn't know what a podcast was, right? I knew what it was, but I didn't know how to do it. So I'm doing it. I'm telling them, this is what I want. This is what they were. Doc, you don't want a podcast. You want a sort of a video talk show. I'm like, well, yeah, but we can put it on the radio too, right? You know what I'm saying? So all that, but we've been able to be blessed to have done. This is our 15th show. We've been able to have our engineer, our brother Steve Muhammad, brother in the back. He's behind the scenes, but we appreciate this good brother out of Dayton who has held us down from show 3 on. And I appreciate him, and we all appreciate the work that he's doing. So we'll go into season 2 on September 7th. We're going to take a few weeks off just to kind of unwind, get ourselves together for the semester. You have to. Are y'all going back to class or what? What's going on?
As of right now, we are.
Okay.
Doors are due to open.
Okay. So here in Springfield City Schools are expected to open doors for schools. So it's going to be an interesting time. Look, let's take a couple minutes. Like, I'm just curious. Like, we've had, 14 shows plus this one. Do you have a favorite?
Man, let me see. Tony
Blackman.
Yes.
I called her Toni Morrison.
Yes. Tony was a favorite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a good show. Miss Tisa is referring to our When She Speaks Hip Hop show. And we had Tony Blackman. Of course, if you know anything about hip hop in America or in Africa or in Caribbean, you know who Tony Blackman is. And we had our sister Regina Bradley, right?
Yes, she was ready.
She came ready to go. She was kicking it on Southern hip hop, Southern playalistic style, kicking that Outcast, and it was just phenomenal, that show. So that's a good choice. I think my favorite show, I guess I can't say all of them, huh?
We can.
We can.
We
All
can.
of them were great. We had a couple that was rough though. We got to be real about it.
They don't know that.
Oh, they don't know that?
No, they
Oops.
don't.
Everything was perfect.
It's great.
Everything was perfect throughout these 14 seasons. No, but y'all know how this stuff goes. Some of y'all remember early on we had some technology problems. We've had folk who is, we just had some fun. But it's been fun. We've had national leaders. We've had local leaders. I think if I really had to say it, I think my most exciting shows were when we were dealing with the local leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would obviously the promotion and talking about my colleague and Cynthia Richards,
right,
and her run for state rep. Obviously, the conversation with Sheila Rice,
yes, sir.
Right? But the young leadership,
yes.
Right? The Latina Humphreys,
mm-hmm.
Out of Columbus, the Asia Rose Gibbs.
Oh my!
She came ready, right?
Ready.
She was a goddess up in here.
Was.
We do social justice from the healing from the inside out.
That's what
right?
She said.
Oh man, she did it for us. Of course, brother Courtney Carson, Illinois.
Yes.
Brothers here, in terms of Dorian Hunter, right?
Yes, sir.
Henry Alexander. I mean, those shows to me gave me life,
yes.
right? Because I'm looking at our nation. I'm looking at the ways in which we are trying to navigate through politics and all this kind of stuff. And yet there's still a thirst. There's still a hunger
there is.
For energy and for activity and for change,
there
right?
Is, yes.
And the problem is, though, Ms. Tisa, is that this word change comes about almost every 4 years. We're ready for change and all that kind of stuff, right? But we know the two-party system is tough, right? It's tough, right? The Democrats, Republicans, sometimes on some issues, they ain't too far apart from each other, right? Some of the problems and challenges people have had about our current presidential candidate is that maybe he's not left enough, he's not progressive enough, right? And so they want to be, but the truth is though, and I always say that, in this situation where we have the Electoral College, we have the nomination process, what is going to be in the best interest of you and your family?
Right.
And I don't care how you feel about, Biden. I don't care. What's your finger up there for? I don't care what Biden and Kamala Harris, how you feel about whatever they've done in the past, whatever. I need to ask you how you're living now.
Right.
How you've been living, how you've been feeling, right? Because again, it's not just your economic situation. If you're a part of certain economic classes, you probably have done well over the past 3-4 years, right? True. Especially if you in those businesses that are deregulated, right? You do whatever you want to people, however you want to do to people. You Trump's kind of people, right? You know what I'm saying? But most of us aren't like that, right? And so I'm just asking, those of us who are struggling with healthcare, right? We still have so many millions of people who don't have access to healthcare. You got a Trump who the first thing he did was to pull away and try to limit, the Obamacare. And so, we have to ask ourselves, what is going to be? You got post offices. I mean, post boxes just disappear in the middle of the night.
Right.
What the hell is that? And people out here talking about, well, it don't matter who president. Look what your president's still in post boxes. Right? Closing down daggone slot machine. I mean, slot machines, a whole different thing. But mail sorting machines and stuff like that. And you say it don't matter, right? You have an international community who's looking at America and says, look who your president is. And y'all want us to take you seriously? And you got people on Twitter and Facebook talk about, we don't care about either one of them. Listen, you're going to need to care. A country needs to care. Your family needs to care. I don't know. But when we had those type of conversations,
right?
Ryan McClellan last week, right?
Yes.
Jonathan Jackson, right? Important things. What surprised you about this season? Anything kind of?
What surprised me about this season? To know that there are other educators out there that share that same passion as you as it pertains to the minority youth that are in, the PWIs.
Yeah.
Especially Dr. Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Takia came through, didn't she?
She did.
Takia came through a net show. Takia Hamilton, as well as her brother Abdullah, right?
Yes,
came through that day as well. And so that was a rich conversation. Because again, you're right. Here on a campus like Wittenberg, right? We have to navigate how these students, especially this small minority of Black students, are trying to make it through on campuses like this, right? Now, COVID-19 affects everybody. Right. But many of our students are dealing with aunties and uncles and preachers and pastors and cousins who have died because of COVID-19. Much more sort of in terms of percentage than their white counterparts. Right. And so while some of the students are acting like, well, who cares about masks? Who this stuff is fake, this stuff is you like, I just left a funeral of somebody whose lungs stopped because of COVID-19. I'm dealing with an auntie who's been struggling for 8-9 weeks from this stuff, and you running around here acting like you don't care, right? So we need to really engage in a conversation. And I think that even while we're off for these 2 weeks, I think wherever you are in your town, you need to certainly make sure that you are asking people to care, right? That's all. It's a challenge to care. It's a challenge to make sure that our nation is sort of inhabited by people who are not just self-serving, self-interested individuals, but people who understand that their neighbors, their livelihood, their health, mental, social, physical, relies upon how we treat them, right?
Yes.
So again, 15 episodes where we just completed. When we go into season 2, starting September 7th, we have 16 episodes.
Oh,
right. We have 16. I want to tease a couple of them. I do, but we got some. We got some. Let's put it this way: we have some Ohio State representatives.
Okay.
We're going to jump on here and have some conversations.
Okay.
We have a couple poets and some artists, maybe a comedian or two. We have If I Die Today, which God holds I don't. But if I die today, the man is going to be eulogizing my funeral.
Oh.
Father Michael L. Flager in Chicago. Everybody around the country know him. You seen him on CNN. You see him on MSNBC. You see him making noise all over Chicago. He has committed to being on Straight No Chaser. So again, I'm not playing with him, Tisa.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them free entertainment, news that you can use.
That's the important part.
That's the important thing. Culture, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not charging them a dime.
Right.
Right. CNN ain't doing what we doing.
They're not.
MSNBC, they may have the money behind them. Nice set. We got, a banner that fell down last week. I shouldn't say that. We got that going.
It didn't fall.
It didn't fall. It was your eyes playing tricks on you, right? But the truth is, though, we're doing this because we love the people.
That's it.
And information is what is power.
Very much
right?
so. And
so that's what we're doing here. And so I'm just excited to be able to bring you Straight No Chaser and having people like my university who says, look, this is a good thing, helping however I can help. I'm still waiting for a little bit of money, Wittenberg. I'm just put it out there like that. But the point is like that, they're helping. They're doing whatever they can do. And we need more help, right? Truth is, we need more help. And we asked for businesses, we asked for corporations, organizations to maybe support the show. We've had a couple people who've jumped on board. We have maybe, I think, 3 so far who said, yeah, we'll jump in on next season, right? Shout out to them. We'll be talking about them actually once we start. But I think, Ms. Tisa, we probably need to get a few more people today to think about what season 2 would look like if they had some people or they knew people who can support it.
Right.
Do you have our flyer that talked about our pledges and stuff? Are we going to show you the flyer?
All righty, Straight No Chaser audience. So the flyer is on the screen, and that flyer right there will detail to you what it looks like if you would like to be a sponsor in season 2 for Straight No Chaser with Dr. Julius Bailey. During season 2 on Straight No Chaser with Dr. Julius Bailey, if you watched, you'll notice that on our I'll Drink to That segment, there were plenty of people who came in from the community, and not just from the community, but they were people from around Ohio and nationwide. For example, Nettie Carter Smith graced us with her presence and talked to us about Bass Smith Connection, which is a 501c3 organization that gives college scholarships to minorities students. We also conversed with Tejal Cartwright of What's the Biz. What's the Biz is a syndicated podcast that you could find on YouTube, that you could find on Facebook, and she also uses Instagram as a platform. Her goal on What's the Biz is to assist in the Black dollar circulating more within the Black community. Sheila Rice was present, as Dr. Bailey and I conversed about earlier today in the show, and she's running for Clark County Clerk of Courts. Cynthia Richards was present, and she is running for an Ohio State Representative seat. We also gave a shout out to the Promise Zone crew, which is directed by Camille Hall. You can find them on Facebook at Promise Zone Crew. We also gave a shout out on the I'll Drink to That segment to the My Brother's Keeper Alliance, which is an initiative that was started by Barack Obama. However, there's chapters throughout the nation, and there's one here in Springfield, Ohio. If you would like for your young minority student to be a part of that initiative here in Springfield, Ohio, we ask that you reach out to Chris Wallace, Henry Alexander, Carlos Marshall, Raphael Allen, or Moses Mabisha, because their vision and mission is to encourage young Black males in our community to have a profound impact on their communities, on the state, on the nation, and the world. Oh, and the best, on episode with Cornell West, the intellectual dialogue between Dr. Cornell West and Dr. Julius Bailey, we talked about racism, hypocrisy, and bad faith, a moral challenge to the America I love. Guess what? That book was scribed by your one and only Dr. Julius Bailey. If you have already acquired a copy, we thank you. If you have yet to do so, you can find that at juliusbailey.com. We also gave shout outs to people who love books, knowledge, and have a thirst to broaden who they are through reading. And most definitely, we gave a shout out to the Dayton Young Black Professionals, which was founded by Deja Demings. If you would like to know more about this organization, feel free to tune into their website, which is DaytonYPB.org. So I hope that you all got a chance to look over the Straight No Chaser sponsorship letter that's showing on the screen. There's 2 levels of sponsorship. You can either do 2 segment slot per show, or you can do you can sponsor a show in its entirety. We are also looking for a show title sponsor, and that's just a one-time donation. But all of these details are showing presently on the screen. If you guys have any additional questions, would like any more information regarding what it takes to be a sponsor for Straight No Chaser with Dr. Bailey, we ask that you not be hesitant in reaching out to Dr. Bailey. All links will be posted in the thread during the show.
Thank you, Ms. Tisa. So, last Friday, I drove down to Champaign County here in Ohio, a small town called Urbana. It was the home of Michael Farms. That's not his name, that's the name of the farms, the Michael family, a 3,000-acre supplier of fresh produce and vegetables who had nearly 90 employees, and making them one of the largest in the region. Recently, this farm had experienced a COVID-19 outbreak, with nearly 40% of their farm workers COVID positive. As we know from the effect of many meat processing plants, even across the country, and especially even in Ohio, hit with COVID-related closures like in Salem and Winesburg, and Canton, large food growers and producers are sort of highly susceptible to this deadly pandemic, with many days of production halted and the sad reality of dozens of deaths reported. Then I went to Justin and Becky Tilley from Tilley Farmstead, who Supplies, Clintonville, Ohio market down there by Columbus. I visited them about a month ago, and they said that they are hoping to earn just 1/3 of their average annual income while doing their best locally. You know, here in Ohio, here in Springfield, where I live, I love our Clark's produce and Pendleton's, where I couldn't wait to go get the corn and after it harvested and stock up on the pole beans. My favorite here in Springfield is it's called Soup, right? The Springfield Ohio Urban Plant Folk, who my colleague and ecological food justice activist, Dr. Sarah Fortner, hit me to. In the face of COVID-related challenges, they meet the needs of a food desert on the south side of here where I live in Springfield, Ohio, a neighborhood overwhelmingly African-American with fresh produce on a weekly basis at a market or less than market prices. Unfortunately, we see this in Toledo, East Cleveland, West Dayton, Youngstown, and more. Food insecurity is a real issue, both in our state as well as nationally. But unless we meet these injustices head on with an intentional eye upon all our citizens, we will continue to fall adrift and not fulfill sort of the best of what it means to be an Ohioan. You know, we are in crisis with long lines for food boxes and a dire need for more food support through SNAP programs and others. We should know without a doubt that our economy must be grounded in the principle that food security is domestic security. And domestic and global food supply chains are vital to agricultural production. We are out here arguing about masks, as I just was talking about. Folk are out here dying. Food costs are soaring. Debt are amassing across our nation. For what? And so we need to handle this COVID crisis. That means that, as I just talked about, our local farmers, especially the small ones, need access to credit, right? Bigger supply contracts and safe infrastructure to stabilize the farm economy, especially in light of our current and future COVID-19 challenges. You know, the current and future aftershocks of COVID-19 slowly positions us to parallel the depths of as taken from sort of the big economic disruptions of the past, you know, like the Depression of 29, the recession of 08. But policy decisions made today will have similarly long-lasting repercussions. Though I'm glad Ohio has strong Democratic leadership in our state legislature, led by Representative Emilia Sykes and others, I am also worried that its Republican majority might not learn from these past disruptions and inadvertently push through policies that would stifle innovation and cultural production. You know, as I think about it, small businesses and small business development is also important to me. When I think about homes and communities across America that COVID-19 has brought out the sort of the improvisational energies of so many people. Weekly, I go to food trucks and I see the boom in food trucks, the making and supplying of masks. Community business development is very important to me. Working with area foundations, chambers of commerce, and big business to ensure that underrepresented populations are supported and invested in is of the utmost concern to me. But what does business post-COVID look like? Unfortunately, due to poor national leadership and individual people taking libertarian stances of personal freedoms while slowly but surely thwarting our ability to sort of get to the other side of this pandemic. Why should I wear a mask? We just have no idea when COVID-19 will subside. Meanwhile, across our nation, and no more than here in Ohio, from Youngstown to Shaker Heights, from Lima to Trotwood, from Cincinnati to Cleveland, our small businesses, and especially minority-owned businesses, are suffering. Record layoffs, closed doors, limited access to federal Paycheck Protection Program. You know, that PPP that never got to me. All that has reduced so many businesses to a shell of itself just last year. And so we think about what 2022 might look like. I am concerned about equity within small businesses, the presence of over-leveraged collateral, and our much-needed entrepreneurs' ability to restock and rehire and rebuild. What would bonding processes look like post-COVID? Who we are as a nation, and especially for us in Ohio, depends on these small businesses. And this is what is also on my mind. I'm a fan of block grants. And when done with intentionality and robust community support, an immediately value hike sort of occurs in these communities. And not only do our neighborhoods look better, but our neighborhoods feel better, our children engage better, and our core and of course, sort of our home values perform better. Neighborhood by neighborhood, city to township, to incorporated cities, how we come out of COVID-19 is going to take some sweat equity. Our state house must invest in our resiliency. Budgetarily, we can't appropriate our way out of economic recovery. I'm sorry, we can't do that. We got to grind our way out. Everybody must have a chance to work. We must invest in 15 and 16-year-olds and their virility, teaching them how to earn, how to bank, how to reinvest in themselves through an expansion of youth job corps and programs like that. We must also put the R back in the ODRC, the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. And our rehabilitation of ex-offenders must be robust and expand to what I like to call, quoting a ludicrous, release therapy, preparing minds, bodies, and hands to be productive citizens. I applaud places like Edwin's Restaurant in Shaker Heights, Ohio, whose intentional efforts at hiring ex-offenders highlights the very best of what business visionaries are. I've eaten in many prisons as I speak regularly, and places like Marion and Chillicothe have excellent chefs who are on the inside. If they have been running the laundry room in the ODRC, why can't they run the laundry room at the Hilton Corporation or Columbus Blue Jacket Stadium? If they have been cleaning floors for 5 or 10 years, you gonna tell me that a university can't hire an ex-offender to join the janitorial staff? Look, we have to put our money where our mouth is, Ohio. Post-COVID demands that everybody gets dirty and works our way through this rut. Roads to neighborhood housing here in Springfield. I'm excited to watch neighborhood development take place. Organizations like Ms. Tisa talked about in Conscious Connect and others are revitalizing our Southside communities as an investment into the soul of its citizens. It's happening all across Ohio, but we need it to happen because we are better as a nation when we see the best in each other and we effort toward human capacity building and human potential. And so, on this 19th day of August, I am making an announcement. I'm announcing that I want to take on a larger role of service to my state and to my country. I want to meet the challenge of forging and expanding a path for Ohio that will ultimately be a national benchmark. Good news is, it's not solely my good looks that will help me achieve that goal. It is you, Ohio, and all those friends of mine across the country and the world who support my endeavors. You 11 million plus Ohioans who are resilient, visionary, and service-oriented. You who span the gamut of being global leaders in agriculture and education and business and industry, as well as hardworking farmers and assembly persons and manufacturing workers and construction workers and truckers. You brilliant artists, friends of mine like Archie Green and Honeybell Bay in Cleveland. The Ohio Conservatory Ballet's Enos Dubrovia, I love her in Akron. Talented scholars and progressive thinking, community engaged citizens like Deja Dimmons in Dayton or Julian Mack and Anatoni in Toledo, Congresswoman Fudge and Representative Howes in Cleveland, and organizations like the Northeast Ohio Black Health Coalition. Pastor Todd Johnson and Pastor Lou Macklin over there in Mahoning Valley, I see you. With your talent, with your support and your vision, aligned and linked with mine, we can navigate Ohio out of COVID-19 into a brighter future. Ohio, will you help me? Will you help us actualize our potential? You know, all of my friends nationally, internationally, will you take this journey with me? What journey you want to know that I'm asking you to take with me? Well, let's watch the video. Hi, my name is Julius Bailey, and I'm poised to become the next governor of this great state of Ohio. I'm seeking an exploratory committee across Ohio to get an idea if what I envision and what you desire, my fellow Ohioans, are truly aligned. Let's make one thing clear. I'm not a politician. I'm an educator. I'm a community organizer, a team-oriented leader who recognizes the talents of all around me as being crucial to winning. I don't promise what I cannot deliver, and I don't destroy that which I cannot rebuild. This potential run is not just about me. It's about all of us. It's about all of us whose potential is untapped, whose opportunity seems to have hit a wall, and whose hope in tomorrow is fleeting. The urgency of our challenges, the continued opportunity to serve and lead a team of 11 million people to do great things is what led me to make the decision to seek your support. We as a state deserve better, and I know Ohioans want better. Our schools are competitive in some parts across the state, but struggling in others. We can do better in Ohio. An economy that was flourishing in Columbus with rebuilding efforts in downtown areas like Akron and Dayton and Springfield and others. They're positive steps, but incomplete because we're leaving many of our other cities' neighborhoods behind. Bailey 2022 is about access. It's about belief and competency. We're positioned to be a state where we model how community and law enforcement can work together in an effort to recognize the humanity of each person. Yes, I unapologetically affirm that Black Lives Matter, and as such, this understanding only sustains what makes us great as Ohioans. We are going to keep this exploration process simple. I urge you to get to know me. Invite me on a Zoom call. Bring me to your homes. As socially distanced, of course. Exchange a few tweets. Let's take a gentle walk on our beautiful Ohio parks. Again, we're going to keep this long journey simple. It's all about ABCs. We must prepare to act, dare to believe, and create our tomorrow today. She's going to start talking. She's going to ask me a question, then I'm going to.
Hold up. Doc, you about to run for governor of Ohio and win 2022?
Well, I just feel that we just have to do it. You know, the time is right. I think the nation is experiencing the kind of climate that it needs somebody like me. And so that's why I want to run for governor. But you know what? For me, audience, the truth is that, I could have run for anything. I could have stayed in my comfortable job. But for me, to understand what it means to be the leader of this great state, it boils down to ABC, right? It's about access. I want to make sure that every school in Ohio improves. That would be my goal, to sort of resurrect that which is dissipating and dying, and to keep strong those who are flourishing. 2 and 3 tier sort of education is simply unjust and does nothing to motivate and kickstart the dreams of our youth. And it fails to create and sustain a viable workforce. So that's A. B is belief. The governor's job is executive. Yes, but it's also visionary. And I am that kind of leader, one that makes sure citizens believe in their tomorrow and believe that their tomorrow will be better than their today. They believe that home ownership provides long-term family security and believe that their government is not simply bureaucratic, but effective and empathetic to the needs of all people. And then C. Create. Creation, innovation, birthing, rebirthing is what a Bailey State House would represent. I would do all that I can to lay the foundation for ideas to flourish, potential to be actualized, and creators to dream and produce, to collaborate, and also to innovate. This is what I say the best of what Ohio is, and why I am the optimal candidate for this position. You know, this might be the most unrealistic goal that I've ever set for in my life. Ohio is a state where the African-American population is sort of dwindling. And I need to be a voice for not only my people, but all across the state. As I mentioned, farmers and workers and ex-offenders, as well as small business owners, and helping to set the vision for big business to understand how to link themselves, get their hands dirty with the rest. Politically, last election, Richard Cordray ran a strong race in 2018. He amassed over 2 million votes. The first Democrat to ever do it and still lose the election. Ohio is a tough state for us Democrats, but I believe in the soul of the people. I will let the pollsters do their work while I go out and meet all of you in our 88 counties. If you can dare to envision it, we, Ohio, can make history happen. So take down my information again. You saw it on the video. Bailey2022.com is my website. Go there, sign up, see how you can help. You got to help me to reach all 88 counties, all 11 million people. My goal is 3 million voters. 3 million, how do I get there? Well, it starts with you. If today you can share my page, tell somebody about it. Schedule a Zoom call with your friends, your organization, your church. Invite me up to your towns. I got plenty of masks to wear. Let's sit down and discuss what I have to offer for the state and see if I'm the kind of leader that you want to represent you. So again, that's Bailey2022.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter at Bailey2022. Go there right now. Like the page on Facebook, Bailey2022. Follow me on Twitter, Bailey2022. And tell your friends, follow this guy. Let's watch this guy. Even if you're critical right now, which you should be. Of course, people who've been a part of my life, people who I've impacted, people who I've worked for, people who I've raised up, and people who I've supported, they fired up, ready to go with me. But some of you are just saying, who is this Julius Bailey guy? Well, let's get to know one another. As you say, this is my relationship with you. Let's do this sort of political dance where I move, you move, yeah, just like that. We can do this. Our future together is then as easy as ABC. Let's act, because we believe that we can create Ohio's tomorrow today. Ms. Tisa, you gonna support me?
What? Hold up, do you see this?
I didn't see that. What's that?
You know, just a little baby.
You got gear already?
Carol.
We got swag. You got one for me in a 3 or 4X? I mean, let's get a. You got one for me?
Do I?
Oh, wait a minute. And I got the swag. Hey. Bailey22, y'all. Get with me. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Hit us on the website. Follow us. Let's come together. Let's meet. Send me your phone numbers, emails. Connect me with all your family, friends, civic workers, co-workers. Let's just get to know each other. If it comes to be the case that I'm not the person for you, you will let me know. But I believe if you give me a chance, you and me together, all 11 million of us, will make Ohio better post-COVID-19. 2020-22, Bailey, let's get with the ABCs. We act, we believe, and we create Ohio's tomorrow today.